Shalom, shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a brief lesson speaking on this article I came across a few hours ago, all right, which is pretty much tapping into, the police state, that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is in the process of formulating, which pretty much comes in the form of this fourth industrial revolution, where they plan to operate in a totalitarian form of control. All right, and we're seeing the building blocks of that come together now. They're, pushing the narrative to try to help the homeless. All right, which in reality, that's actually to be able to, victimize those that supposedly fall under the category of mental instability. All right, and you're gonna see within this article, what they're doing behind the scenes in efforts to find a way in, to find the chink in the armor, all right, when it comes to this truth, because ultimately what has to be understood, all right, it all evolves around this truth. What Esau is doing evolves around the birthright. All right, he dresses it up. He'll make it seem like he's pinpointing and targeting something else. No, ultimately, he wants to stop this word from being able to go forth. So he's trying anything and everything in his power in efforts to find a way, all right, to be able to isolate this truth. And it's not going to come to fruition until Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai declares it, all right, in the form of Amos 8 and 11 being fulfilled, which we understand the famine of the word is inevitable. Okay, it's inevitable, and chances are, Esau is going to be the apparatus to initiate it, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of course. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, I just wanted to get into this article real quick, Lord willing. You Akiyam and Akwath are edified. Before we grab this article, let's go here real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, the 37th chapter, real quick. Here we go. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, and verse 12, and it reads, "The wicked plotteth against the just," and we know the wicked to be none other than Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, pursuing the Malachi 1 and 4. They're coined as the border of wickedness, man. Okay, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. But listen, all right, when you talk to this is talking to who? All right, the global elite, those that have the power to actually plot against the just, which is the elect. Okay, they're able to bring forth certain legislation. They're able to, create. They're in a position to have a system. They can create a system that pretty much sets Jacob for the fall. You see, these regular Joe six packs are just fumes in the movie. Ultimately, it's the global elite that are initiating these plots. You see, check this out. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth, man. Okay, and his teeth can be likened unto his military. You see? Which ultimately there's going to come a time where the boots are going to hit the ground. as you've heard brothers often say. Okay, it's gonna get martial law out here in the thick of things. You see, and that's when we're gonna need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua the most. All right, continuing on, the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming, man. Okay, and how is the Lord gonna laugh at this dude? Through the elect, starting with the servants, the prophets. Okay, there's gonna be a cold spirit on the men of the Lord and on the faithful, innumerable multitude, man, in the days that we're coming into. Why? Because the innumerable multitude, the elect, all right, the men of the Lord know and understand what all this means. Ultimately, it means our salvation draweth nigh. All right, so as these things continue to come forth in the form of prophecy, as things manifest, hey, we're like a child waiting for Christmas to come to pass, man. Right, you know how it was when you were in the world. You know, you got a week or two before Christmas, and you got Christmas week, and by the time you hit Christmas Eve, you can't sleep. Okay, hey, this is what the elect are likened unto regarding this truth and prophecy coming to pass. You see, as prophecy continues to unfold, the elect, all right, become more and more anxious, man. Hey, and Lord willing, we're part of that precious number. Let me continue. Right? Psalms 37:14. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow. You see that? And cast down the poor and needy. And this is likened unto them, bringing forth unrighteous decrees. You see? Because through their decrees, they're able to exercise their strength. As it tells us in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. As a matter of fact, Lord willing, we'll grab that real quick and then we'll jump into the article. Look at to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. You see? And ultimately, who is as of an upright conversation? The two witnesses, man. All right, which come in the form of the northern and southern kingdom. As it tells us here in Revelations, the 11th chapter, in the 3rd verse, and it reads, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth, man. And that 1,203 days is talking to that 350-year period, man. Okay, when Jake was through, all right, from 1619 to 1969, 1970, give or take. All right, then after that, what? The Great Awakening happened, man. Okay, and Jake has been waking up ever since. All right, so hey, there's two faithful witnesses, man, the northern and southern kingdom, and there's a star witness, all right, which comes in the form of these regular Joe Sixpack Edomites, all right, bringing forth information, all right, on their counterparts, on their physical counterparts, and these heathen as well, all right, speaking out, all right, on talking points related to certain councils they've been in amongst these higher ups or what have you. Okay, yeah, there's a star witness which comes in that form, all right, which ultimately is snaring Esau. You see? Let's go back. As a matter of fact, let's get that Wisdom of Solomon, and then let's jump into that article. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, in verse 1, and I'm going to jump down so we can get the context. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. So now we know who this is talking to. The ungodly, man, whom is none other than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Right, and if you look at this through the spirit, this is talking to kingdoms and rulerships. Okay? There's no kingdom or rulership that has been known to return from the grave, man. All right? Once it reaches its pinnacle, it starts to decline, and then it crumbles, man. And that's the same thing we're witnessing with Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. Okay? But Esau's at the point now where he's kicking and scratching and clawing all right, and just trying his hardest to stay alive, man. All right, and in his mind, he has the necessary tools to do so, all right, which come in the form of AI technology, which no other nation had. All right, no other nation had the technology to be able to preserve the brain for any amount of time. Okay, no other empire had the ability, all right, to control the weather. Okay, to be able to track the people on the level, all right, like subdermal technology, man. All right, biometrics or what have you. Okay, no other empire had the power in the form of this AI technology, man. All right, Daniel 12 tells us what? Knowledge will increase. You see? And that's exactly what we're witnessing in real time. Knowledge has reached its pinnacle. You see? And now Esau is in a position where he thinks he can Yaikwab Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is going to be a failed attempt at best. Jumping down to verse 11, and it reads, 10, forgive me, and it reads, let us oppress the poor righteous man. See? That's his goal, to oppress the poor righteous man. All right, his target, Esau's target is the elect. All right, and poor not as in us eating out of dumpsters and trash cans. No, poor as in we have no power in our hands. We have no standing military, man. All we have is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Look, let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age, man. And we know Esau's a remorseless, diabolical bastard. All right, and this is the spirit that the Lord put in him. All right, he put a spirit in him of a demon. You see? This is how he's hot-wired. But guess what? There's a penalty for that. You show no mercy, you receive no mercy. When mercy rejoiceth in judgment. Continuing on. Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. See? So their strength comes in the form of their law. All right? Come in the form of their legislation. You see? And this is why we're witnessing this. All right? This is from Natural News, dated August 4th, 2025. And the title reads, Minority Report. If you think, talk, or speak the truth about the government, health, or safety, or might be sent to the new mental health gulag, man. Gulag. All right, and this comes from the term via the time of Soviet Union era. Let me look this up real quick. The Gulag was a system of forced labor camps in the Soviet Union, primarily active from the 1930s to the early 1950s during the era of Joseph Stalin, man. All right, so they're trying to bring back that, deletion camp era. All right, because that's what it pretty much boils down to. Let's read some of this. Are you thinking something illegal? Get ready to be jailed for it. Minority Report style. Did you say something about the government that was derogatory? Off to the non-free speech gulag for you. Welcome to the police state tyranny we all knew was coming. George Orwell style nonetheless. The thought police are coming, and you could be declared mentally unfit to walk the streets at any moment. Are you ready? Right? And they continue to read. In the chilling reflection of totalitarian regimes past, the U.S. government is increasingly using mental health laws to detain individuals without due process, raising alarms about a new form of political repression. Yes, and what they mean by without due process means what? You're not going to go see a judge, all right? You're not going to have any type of law via constitution. Let's read this real quick. All right, without due process means the government is taking action against someone without following the legally required procedures, specifically the notice and opportunity to be heard that are guaranteed by the 5th and 14th Amendment. All right, this can involve depriving someone of life, liberty, or property without a fair legal process, man. And this is the reality of what the times we're coming into, man. Evil and only evil, man. And here it is, you got Jake in this mindset of some woman, feminine worship. Alright, believing in the universe. You niggas done lost it. Anyways, let's continue on. Look. Raising alarms about a new form of political repression. An executive order issued by former President Trump aimed at addressing homelessness through expanded involuntary civil commitments has drawn heavy criticism for laying the groundwork for a modern-day police state. Okay? You see how this man is falling into a trap every move he makes? All right, these individuals are trying to dress it up as if they're trying to do something beneficial. All right, but they're in a time of them being found out. So it's being understood, all right, that they are actually trying to execute another diabolical plan. All right, this place is becoming a police state right before the people's eyes, and they don't even see it. All right, in the form of this Real ID and all this other madness that they're pushing, they're policing. They're turning this place into a police state. And by the time you stupid Babylonians realize it, it's going to be too late. Let's continue on. Framed as a compassionate response to mental illness and public safety, the policy allows for the forced institutionalization of individuals based on vague assessments of mental instability rather than concrete criminal behavior. You see, without due process, right? Look at mental health as a pretext for political control. The government is increasingly using mental health justifications such as civil commitment laws to detain individuals, especially the homeless and dissenters, without due process, replacing legal standards with subjective psychiatric evaluations. What's a dissenter? Okay, a dissenter is what? A dissenter. Okay, matter of fact, let's grab it from here. Look, a dissenter is someone who disagrees with or opposes accepted or majority opinions, beliefs, or established systems. Okay, one that's contrary to the system, to the government. You see? So wouldn't the men of the Lord be coined as dissenters? Yeah. Okay, this is why the Spirit's army to sound the alarm. Okay, because the reality of persecution is right at the door, man. But we can't wait because we know this is the ticket home. Look, without due process, replacing legal standards with subjective psychiatric evaluation, pathologizing dissent. Okay, historical and recent examples show how political opposition is being reframed as mental illness. Whistleblowers, veterans, and critics of government policies have been forcibly detained or labeled mentally unfit, echoing Soviet-era tactics of silencing dissidents, man. All right, so Esau is playing out of that same playbook he's always played out of. Okay, look at surveillance and predictive policing infrastructure. A vast surveillance network, including AI-driven behavioral monitoring, biometric tracking, and wearable data, is being expanded under the guise of public safety, enabling preemptive detention based on perceived risks rather than actual crimes, man. Right? They're dressing it up as if it's for your well-being, man, public health. Okay, right, peace and safety, right? Look at the rise of a thought crime regime with red flag laws, vague extremist labels, and executive orders targeting entire categories of people. The state is laying the groundwork for a system where beliefs, fears, or criticism of government can be criminalized as threats to public safety, signaling a dangerous shift toward authoritarianism, man. And you already know what authoritarianism is. Let's go. Look, authoritarianism. Enforcement of advocacy of strict obedience to authority at the expense of personal freedom. They're gonna lock you up if you got something to say. This is the time we're coming into, man. Amos 8 and 11 is right at the door. Okay, this is what we tell you, Jake. You better repent. You better repent. You better repent. You better repent. We keep telling you because you're running out of time. Because Esau knows he's running out of time. Okay, he's gotta push the button. All right, he's in a position where he can no longer drag his feet. You see? And you see how they dressed it up with this new framework regarding compassion, to the homeless. I'm not sure what that order is named, but needless to say, that actually is going to start the groundwork to being able to detain individuals and label them mentally unhealthy, man, to be in society, and pretty much be able to scrape you up with no due process, okay, and treat you like an immigrant, man. Okay, showing you that what? Let's go here. What's that? Is that Psalms 94? Psalms the 94th chapter. He framing mischief, right? By Allah. Let's get this real quick. The book of Psalms chapter 94. But we're going to win, Akiyam and Akwaf. We're going to win. We're going to close out with this. We're going to read on through. Is what we're going to do. We're going to read on through to the bottom here. Khan. We'll read these 4 precepts. We're going to win. All right. Psalms 94 and 20. And it reads, should the throne of iniquity. All right. Who's the throne of iniquity? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. In the form of the global elite. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by Allah, man? And we see this happening right before our eyes, man. This is an example of it. And there's many others. This is the playbook Esau operates with. It's the same 52 fake out Hail Mary. You see? Let's continue on. Psalms 94 and 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous. See that? And condemn the innocent blood, man. Their goal is to get the elect. That's why Revelations 12 and 17 says this. Their goal is that they want the righteous, man, which is the elect. Look, Revelations 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, right? The dragon talking to who? Esau, Edom. All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which comes in the form of this revived Western Roman Empire, man. Okay? The dragon, the woman being who? Israel, man. Right? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai likened us likened Jerusalem unto a delicate and comely woman, which Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. You see? Starting with the elect, and we're going to prove it as we keep reading. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which is the remainder. This is talking to the elect, all right, of her seed, which keep the commandments of power, see, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. This is who they're gunning for, okay? They're trying to get the elect by coming through the back door, is what they're trying to do. You see? But it's going to be a failed mission. Continuing on, Psalms 94 and 21 again. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord Yahweh is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge, man. See, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to fight for the elect. And the phone chimed in, man. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to fight for the elect. All we have to do is be still and know that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is the Lord, man. All right, just like how we operating in Egypt, man, in ancient Egypt. Psalms 94 and 23. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity. See that? He that rolleth a stone, it shall roll back upon him, right? And shall cut them off in their own wickedness, man. Yeah, the Lord Yahweh, our power, shall cut them off. So we ain't got nothing to worry about Akiyam and Akwaf. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai got us. Hey, I'm just bringing this out to warn. All right, to warn you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are still in open rebellion. All right, you're still walking around this earth. All right, as if you ain't got nothing to fear. All right, as if tomorrow's promise. Okay, hey, listen, man. Who you think is your friend, it's gonna be known. It's gonna be found out to be your worst enemy, and you're gonna have to learn it the hard way. Okay? You're going to have to learn it the hard way. That's just the way you're going to have to learn, because you refuse to listen, man. Okay? But for those of you that have eyes to see and ears to hear, and you already know what it is, I'm speaking to the choir. Okay? I'm speaking to the choir, man. They sounding the alarm. Okay? I'm sounding the alarm in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh's holy mountain. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh is nigh at hand. Shalom.